A lot of stuff that requires two hands. I'll bring a roll of toilet paper up here so we can actually use it. I use toilet paper because it's handy and it's close. Normally just like one sheet. Wipe the edge of the blade, always wiping away from the edge, extremely light. Just pretty much drying the razor. You know, I like to use more water while I shave. I rinse my blade off, so sometimes I get some on my fingers to get down around the spine, get down around the hinge point and everything, so always just make sure the razor's dry. Something I've kind of gotten the habit of, and I mean, some people probably aren't going to like this, but it's what I do. After I'm done shaving, I close the razor. I'll actually I'll tap it just a little bit. If there's any moisture on this pin, I want to get it out. Even though I oil my blades, I like to get them as dry as possible, so tap it out. At this point, we're going to turn the water back on. I switched to cold water to rinse my face when I'm done shaving. Cold water just seems like it tightens up the skin a little bit to me. Cold water feels good after I'm done shaving, so I cold water rinse. So we'll try to move down here and see if we get close. Cold water rinse, and then just pat dry. Turn this water off real quick. Just pat dry the best you can, you know. I just always try to pat, don't try to rub. Sometimes you rub. If you're a little heavy-handed starting out, it might be a little irritating to rub, so go to the alum block, cold water again. Take the cold water, just run a little bit over the alum block. I take the edge, you know, wet alum block, not dripping wet, just, you know, a little moist. Rub it all over the skin. At this point, if you got heavy-handed and weren't smooth with your shave, or your razor was a little dull, this alum block will tell you your face will be on fire. Even when you get a good shave, there's a little bit of burn every once in a while, but for me now, it's, you know, I don't even notice it. It's not bad. And that shave was extremely smooth, I can tell. So, alum block over the skin, you know. If it's still dripping, you might dry it off a little bit, but pretty much straight. Now, just a little bit of warm water. Rinse out the brush, you know. Of course, you don't want soap sitting there. I rinse out my brush good, kind of run water across it. Fill up the badger hair and, you know, just kind of wring it out a little bit. For me, I flick a couple flicks in the sink. And actually, because my bathroom's small, I come over to my little shower here and I flip it off. Just flip off the brush in the shower. Just flipping off excess water, you know. I'm not like shaking the shit out of it or anything. Just kind of flipping the water out of it. Always take and dry my handle off because, like this one, you know, it's Cocobolo, it's wood. Even though it's been treated, I just kind of like to make sure it's dry. Dry the handle off very lightly, kind of just dry the edges in the hair, you know. Flick it a couple times, make sure the water's out of it. After you're done shaving, if you don't have a place to set your brush upright, you might want to set it flat so it drains. You don't want to let it dry this way in case there's moisture inside it. It'll run down in the handle or maybe break up the glue. So for me, it's I have little spots that are actually pretty handy. And I used to have more brushes, but I've passed them on to people I know that want to start straight shaving. So these are the only two I got right now, but they were good for me. So after I'm done, I always hang them back up. Soap, there's always a little bit lather on top of the soap. For me, I try to take and I'll like just a small piece of toilet paper and actually wipe out the excess lather on top, just because you know, you let lather dry and it gets nasty. I just wipe it out, you know, lightly. I don't like to sit there and scrub the crap out of it. You know, if you scrub the toilet paper, it's gonna get all over everything, but you need to wipe out the lather and let it dry. I will leave the lid off my soap for another day, just to let it dry completely before I put the lid back on it. Just if it's wet and you put like that, Tabic's not bad because the lid doesn't sit tight. But the other soaps that have like a complete sealable lid, they will you know, get nasty, get all soft and spongy, and you know, what was the old commercial, residue on the soap. Either way, after that, I always take and I'll strop my blade just to make sure it's good and dry. I already flicked the water out of it, So we'll strop it real quick, just a few passes to make sure the edge is good and dry. Strop's still hanging. You know, it's once again 3-inch red latigo. It's the one I like to strop with. So just make a few light passes just to keep the edge good and clean. If there is anything left over on the edge, this will knock it off. You know, some people do this, some people don't. For me, it's something I do, and it's normally just a few passes just to, you know, get the edge good and make sure it's dry, I guess. Make sure there's no moisture on my blade. I always try to make sure it's good and dry. Now this razor right here, I'll actually take and I'll leave it up here on the shelf. I won't put it right away. I'm going to let it sit out overnight, good and dry, and then tomorrow I'll roll it up and put it back in its case. I keep a case definitely away from the bathroom, that way my razor's straight good and dry. Alright, alum block. Like I said, right after I shaved, cold water rinse, alum block. I do all the rest of my stuff as far as like cleaning my brush, you know, making sure my razor's good and dry, cleaning, you know, up my mess pretty much, because every once in a while you'll string a little bit of lather here and there, get a little bit of water, so I clean up my mess. I can feel the alum on my face actually starting to tighten it up, so, and now that I'm done with everything else, another cold water rinse, rinse the alum off. That and a little bit of dead time staring into my bathroom. Sweet rubber duck on the wall. Anyways, once again, you know, just patting the face dry. Then we'll Caribbean Bay Rum. Captain Smith's Spiced Bay Rum. This stuff's awesome. This has actually got alcohol in it. It's made with distilled bay rum. For me, I'll move the camera here and show. I like bay rum a lot, so I don't know if you can really see that good, but there's a pretty good puddle in the hand there. Because I'll rub my hands together, all over the face, neck, get over the body. My wife's gotten to where she likes the bay rum. It smells good. Well, it's good for the skin. And if you get a little heavy-handed, that stuff will damn sure let you know. Now for me, it's funny because everyone says, you know, smooth as a baby's butt. After I'm done shaving, when I put my alum on, or my alum, and, you know, go through the aftershaves, my face will actually be smooth enough that it's sticky. So I got to the point where I just call it sticky. It's sticky smooth, really, to be honest with you. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. You know, just be wary of the edge. Be careful when you're stropping. Good quality products. You know, get a good soap, get a good brush, get a good razor. Avoid the Pakistani blades, the Zeep blades. You know, you're better off getting an antique razor. And if you're definitely wanting to get into it, straightrazorplace.com. Huge, you know, set of information for just about anything between soaps, lathers, razors. Good place to buy razors, good place to, you know, meet people that can help you in any aspect of straight shaving, honing, stropping, whatever. So anyways, Tim, Phil, hope this helped you out. Hope you enjoy my little bathroom. Maybe soon we'll get back and we'll actually cover some restoration, a little bit of honing. Like I said, I've been on a one cuticle honing kick here lately. I got a bevel setter that is a red cotty that cuts as fast as my 1000 grit when I slurry it up, and then just finish on a cotty. Strop with some Chromox into the red latigo, and every one of my razors pops hairs. It's just a method that's worked for me. So for now, hopefully we covered some basics. Hopefully you got a good view of it, kind of how everything works. Until then, take care.